Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command, World War II, World at War with our Allied playthrough. In the last episode, we just took care of most of the African front, we took care of Yugoslavia and Greece. A lot of interesting things happening there. Now we have some other things we need to look at. First and foremost, over here in India, the Gurkha Special Forces are ready to deploy, and we're going to need as much stuff heading west as is possible, because I don't believe Japan's going to be a big issue with how that front's going. The USSR is certainly in for some pain. Hopefully the UK and others like India can take the pressure off them by making progress in other places. Well, I'll go ahead here. We're going to put the Gurkha Special Forces in some transports. That's going to cost 26 MPPs. We are going to send these. We might as well just cruise them. I'm going to send these up to Sudan, is what I'm going to do. Rather than sending them down to where we have Arty and Army and all the South African units and such, I think it would be smarter to send them to Sudan where they can support this Sudanese Defense Force Corps up here. Otherwise, we're just going to have way too many troops down here. This just seems like a smarter way to split it. Hell, maybe the Army could have done well with being up here. I don't know. But we're going to go with what we have. So, we have time, so we'll, I guess, just start running kind of along the road where it's going to get us moving in that direction. This Defense Force Corps doesn't need any help, but once we get into Italy, it might. I believe Italy early in the game has an event that allows them to send like 2 corps or something like that to defend Ethiopia. If we go into Ethiopia and we don't see a single corps, that means the Italians kept the 2 corps up here, which could be part of the presence that we're seeing while fighting over Greece and Yugoslavia, because there's a lot of Italian corps up here. Combine that with the fact that Rommel is not in Europe, or in Libya, which means Rommel is in Europe, which means, oh god, the USSR is going to feel a lot of pain. Oh, I'm having deja vu. Whew. Looking at the Indian research and what we can maybe toss in here, because the Indians do need to do more research. They're also at about, or maybe exactly, half research funding. There's something about that. I'm thinking some AA defense or mobility would be good. Mobility would be really handy for where the Indians are deploying and where they will be deploying. I don't know if you guys can hear that rain. I'm still recording in the rain, by the way, from like an episode or so ago. We're going to go ahead and research the mobility. The mobility could be really, really handy. Looking at France, yes, France, which brought me up here when I should be down here. Over in Polynesia, and that's pretty much all they have. Like, France cannot research anything. France cannot allocate diplomacy chits. But France is there for some reason. And the only thing they can do is recruit a singular garrison in Polynesia. So, let's go ahead and do that. Might as well. They have 50 MPPs. What else are they going to fucking spend it on? Let's get a garrison to ensure that this one miner stays alive. I don't think the AI is smart enough to go for it, but the AI never got this far. Well, the AI, the Japanese never got this far in real life. Okay, so we still have a lot of things to do with the UK and some things to do with the USSR. So the USSR primarily just it needs to get these infantry weapons in the hands of its men along the front, as we have, I'd say, 2 turns probably until Barbarossa starts. And when you look at this, we have another fortification set up. I do wonder where I should move this man now, if anywhere. I know I haven't really been paying attention to this armored train that we got. I should get it moving. I think I'm going to want it up in the north. I think I want to present a stronger northern front than anything, which I think is kind of accurate to history. And you know what? If history worked out, even if a lot of things are ahistorical, hopefully this should work out. We do still need to assign more infantry weapons, so let's give some to the 3rd Corps. Alright, you guys have some. Let's give some to the 2nd Corps, infantry weapons. This guy over here, Patosk. Well, this is an army, that's going to be more expensive. Let's see, where's the most important after this? I wish I could see their supply. This corps needs stuff. It needs elite reinforcements is what it needs, but I'll give it what I can. We'll give it to this army up at Pskov. Now that's everyone after or before, depending on how you look at it, Leningrad that has these upgrades. Let's see, so going further south to the corps on Gomel. We have just north of that another corps. We have all around this stuff that needs these upgrades. Give this an upgrade. This one needs an upgrade. And once these all have their upgrades, that's like everything over here with the upgrades that they can currently get, I believe. Let's look south. I guess we don't. Do we have enough MPPs? 18? Maybe not. to hand out any more upgrades. Not to anything bigger than a core, that's for sure. We can go ahead and give the Sevastopol core here one. They are very entrenched, so they don't need it. But anything they can get will probably help them just hold this that much longer. And that will be important at slowing down the Germans and their... what do I call this? Their Axis forces? I was going to say coalition forces in this region. Now, the UK, where I have probably the most strain on my MPPs because they're actually actively engaged in many conflicts and primarily funding by themselves with their colonies and such. Almost every front, including Yugoslavia, including Greece, Africa, like India is coming in to help, but India's not there yet. We can also actually go ahead and move the units that India's sent up. We can't move very fast, so that's why we're just going to start setting it up now. We're not going to do the offensive into Ethiopia just yet. Everything else over here is good. We do know, one way or another, that we're going to want to get this fucking submarine out of here, even if we don't have the upgrades that we need, which, by the way, we can get now. Anti-submarine warfare, anti-air defense, naval weaponry. This is very important stuff, and especially the ASW for all these destroyers. Oh, man, and I think only destroyers... Oh, no. Light cruisers can get it as well. Man, okay. All right, that really helps. That really helps. Okay, what about... I doubt it. What about heavy cruisers? Oh, heavy cruisers can get it as well. Really? Maybe it's just defensive for them. They can all get it. It must just be defensive for most of them. There's no way they would get offensive capabilities. Anyway, let's go ahead and try and get in there. We're going to send the Montgomery down. I'm sorry if this hurts Montgomery. Oh. Wait, is it not down here? Did it move up? How the fuck did it get past us? Send the Bulldog down here. Oh my god, I think it actually just fucking went past us. Okay. Huh. Well then. Well, we found you. Let's go ahead and attack. Oh, this submarine has upgrades. You dived. I was gonna say you've divin. You've dove. Submarine dives from attack. We dealt damage. Took none. Alright, that's good. Run up. Enemy contact. Attack. Submarine dives from attack. Damage dealt. None taken. Alright, this is what I know is here. This is what I'm attacking. We took damage that time. Dealt no damage. Unfortunate. Now, this is where the problem comes in. Because I could research with the UK. I could also put a shit into Finland, who's 50% towards us at the moment. We have 4 in. That should be good enough. As much as I'd love to put more into research because they need it, there's so many other things I need to do. So many fucking other things. Let's start with this destroyer right here, because it's not going to get to reinforce anymore. It's going to have to go northeast. ASW can help it survive the trip. Getting ASW for destroyers primarily is going to be so extremely important. Let's focus the ones that are already reinforced to get them up to snuff with all the upgrades we can get them. Some of these, a lot of these still need to be reinforced. Alright, well, we'll put some ASW into you as well, Mohawk Destroyer, because you don't actually need to be reinforced. This destroyer can head up, to the battlefield. Okay. I know he's not ASW kitted out, but let's go ahead. Anything we can get up here right now counts. We took 2, we dealt none. That's sad. He had about as much capability as everyone up there had, so... like, the only thing he's missing is maybe some experience dealing with some prior situations. Alright, so we're down to 137. Okay. Let's go ahead and reinforce the Javelin Destroyer. Let's go ahead and reinforce the Jersey Destroyer. The Jersey Destroyer is going to need even more time in the docks here. We have 57 MPPs left so that I can allocate elsewhere. I'm really split between on... I'm ignoring all this. On if I want to give that to the 1st Corps in Canada, because that could be vital in assisting the Brits with Brest. If I do end up landing there, we still have time. And loading up the transport itself would be expensive. We still have time, so I'm not going to worry about that just yet. So we have more of an active engagement of warfare here. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this corps with infantry weapons. We've given them mobility already, which they're going to need down here. We're going to go ahead and reinforce the South Africa Corps to max, the 2nd Corps specifically. That should be pretty handy. We're down to 12 MPPs, which means we're out of capabilities to really do anything else with the UK. I'm hoping taking Ethiopia will help And it should, at the very least, you know, if it doesn't make a big dent in Italy's MPPs and morale, it should allow us to get all these units out of Africa and heading to Europe, because that's really where they're going to be needed. I'm hoping that I just won't need to put any UK anything into defending the East because of how I'm dedicating everything that the Americas will have over there. Well, America itself. If Brazil joins the war next year, that's different. But that might join under America anyway. I imagine it would. That's kind of how it went in real life. We do have the capacity to do some research. We did get infantry weapons. Very important. Very important. We're researching like just about everything, which is fantastic, right? America just has the ability to do that. Now, by doing this, I have not raised a very strong navy or anything, but I'm hoping just through sheer, like, I don't know. I'm hoping it will still work out. I don't really know how to plan for USA in the Pacific. I don't know how this is going to go with an AI. Against a player, I feel like I could plan better. We're going to go ahead and we're going to research the next level of infantry weapons. We have 176 MPPs remaining. It's May 23rd. It should still be a decent bit of turns before they get involved. June, July, August, September. Yeah, we got like half a year, roughly, before D-Day. So we can invest in something else here as well, such as heavy bombers, armored warfare. We don't need a lot of these things, if I'm being honest. The armored warfare is at least like a one-off. I don't know. We could also take the points we have right now and put that into upgrading our current infantry, which are not going to need mobility anytime soon. Let's see. Attack value, anti-aircraft. Okay, no defensive value. The thing about the infantry weapons here is it's only going to benefit them if the Japanese were landing and attacking us. So it's not something that we actually need to upgrade into anytime soon. So I could just research into other things, because America just has the ability to do a fuck ton of research. I think I will do that, but I think what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to research armored warfare, because that's just a one-off thing, and I can imagine we'll probably mop up Japan pretty quickly. We're primarily going to be using the American Navy for that, just because the Japanese Navy is at full strength. You know, China's not hurting them. But we can probably use the Chinese to actually do the invasion. That's what I hope. And then America can just focus the Navy stuff and focus the islands and things like that. So shouldn't be too vital. But once we get into Europe, you know, that's when that kind of shit will be relevant and necessary. So that covers our entire turn, pretty much, I think. That is not, yeah. That is not China. So we're going to go look at China now, where we have completed this amazing encirclement to which the AI has barely reacted. The AI, who, by the way, is almost completely out of supply everywhere. Their only supply centers are Wuhan, which doesn't appear to be producing any supply, maybe due to its occupation, and Nanchang, which is producing at least some supply. These units are just like, they're on the verge of death, and they don't know it. Their supply is so low, the HQs are probably the only thing keeping them together. There's an entire enemy corps here that just has no supply whatsoever. But first thing comes first. The thing I am actually paying attention to. We're going to Arty, the enemy corps, at Haiko, get their entrenchments down. Let's see. We're going to attack with the army. We've dealt 1 damage. We take 1 damage. This is what I expected. This is not a surprise to me. This army's now finally going to move back. And we're going to move the corps up. Doesn't have the best of luck, but we're going to attack with the corps. With the infantry weapons, yeah, Haiko's not falling. At this rate, Haiko's not falling. I would have needed another army here to pull this off. So we might be saying goodbye to Indochina and the Hanoi Kunming Railroad, unfortunately, in a turn or so here. That's sad. Hopefully the damage we do here will make up for it. But the Burma Road, when Japan declares war, should hopefully make up for that. I hope. Yeah, because there's no way I can stop them. I don't have the capability. Even with infantry weapons, it's just not enough. Even when they don't have entrenchments, it's going terribly. It really, really sucks, in fact. Alright, so the first thing I noticed right here is we could deal a lot of damage to this HQ right here. So we're going to attack. Yep, there's the 5 we were promised. We took no damage as well. That is fan-fucking-tastic. Alright, let's see what else we can do here. So you don't need to be here anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move you up to Shanghai so we can get an idea of what's over here. Okay, this dude has like little supply, little readiness. He's entrenched, but that's about it. Bro, all this is dead. Japan, your AI is fucked up big time. We're going to move the 5th Corps forward to attack this HQ, and there you go. That's a dead Japanese HQ. What are the morales? National morale of Japan is 77%. I think this affects the total morale that, like, the units can get too. China's morale is up to 96%. Amazing improvement. UK is at 93. I think that's up. I think it was at, like, 88 one point. I might be wrong. Germany's at 107. Oof. Italy at 88. So, Germany aside, you know, we're kicking some ass. We're kicking some ass here. All right, now we got to start surrounding them over here, and then maybe, I don't know, finding some kind of weakness that we can take advantage of here. At the very least. Let's go ahead and kind of prepare for that. Oh, we can actually get more elite reinforcements now. On you. We can get one more point. We get you up to 12. Ooh, that's kind of hot. Same thing with you. We get you up to 12. All right, that might prepare us better for an eventual push over that way. That's for sure. I'm amazed they haven't given up their lines this whole time. I don't understand why they're just so insistent that they can accomplish anything here. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and attack with this corps first and foremost. I think we're attacking across a river. Dealt some damage, took some damage, that's fine. You are going to move up to Shanghai and assist in surrounding that, because we want to make sure the armies back here can move forward. And yes, a lot of them sure can. So we're going to march the 23rd Army. And now that the 23rd Army is down there, we'll go ahead and attack with the 2nd Corps first. Try and weaken the enemies. Dealt 2, took 1, not so bad. We're going to move this corps on Nanjing off of it and attack the enemy HQ here, actually, dealing 4 damage, taking 1. Not the best, not the worst. Wish I could do some more here, but I can't. This is too far away from supply to actually, like, reinforce or anything, unfortunately. But we can go ahead and attack this corps again with the army. 3 damage dealt, none taken. Alright, that's not bad. Our capacity to deal damage here is lacking. I could move this Dare to Die Special Forces up, but I'd rather get it infantry weapons. These guys are as good as dead. It's just a matter of how quickly they die. Also, putting this plane here, I'm realizing just how terrible of an idea that was. Look at everything I have over here. How dumb are you? We have some recovery we need to do. Let's go ahead and reinforce the 41st Army here, which could definitely do with some recovery. Otherwise, most of our things are just holding. We'll reinforce the 42nd Army. It can't really go anywhere too far right now. We'll send the 12th Army down to Suqiao so it can join down there. Otherwise, I think we have the numbers down there to be able to move corps and stuff up north. I'm going to take this tank and I'm going to send it forward, honestly. I'm going to put it right in the field up here across the river. We can actually see the enemy HQ backing these forces up. That's cool. We're going to go ahead and attack the enemy Naval Flotilla Maritime Bombers with this tank. Wow, they are very upgraded. But I think we can start really scaring the Japanese around here really soon. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this army with infantry weapons. We're going to move... How's supply over here? That's not the best. But we're going to go ahead and move up into the hills here. And I wonder if I could tempt them with the arty. Good question. I'm going to move the arty forward, where it can provide defensive fire for this unit, and we can see how this goes. We're getting around towards their HQ. This should, hopefully, theoretically, be making them panic. I am going to push up with the corps here at Tientsin, because we want to continue doing damage to these maritime bombers. Any damage we can do at all to this is just, it's wonderful. It's so much that they have to pay to recover it. So at the very least, if they get into Indochina for cheap, we make them pay for other things. We can actually still move out of the way here. So you know what we'll do, actually, is... I guess it's because we moved from so close. We'll swap out with the corps that's in this fortification. We'll get another attack in. Nice, nice, very nice. I'm liking that. We can even go send someone up to kind of like replace the tanks. So let's move the tanks around. Let's send this corps over here where we can attack again the maritime bombers, doing another damage. And that's all the attacks are really going to get in over there. But we'll take this L corps and we'll move them up to Tientsin so that they can continue to defend in that locale. That's enough damage to make them pay quite a bit, I do think. And everything they have here is just going to end up falling apart. This army is still relatively strong, but it's the only strong thing they have over here. Our offense over here should be strong enough to not really have to worry too much. Now, I ponder where to send the anti-air. everything we have going down in the center here is just far too mobile. I don't know if the anti-air really needs to be here. I don't know where it needs to be, quite frankly. I guess for now, I'll try to move it up to keep it defending some units that are on this offensive line here, for whatever that's worth. It's probably not going to be all that helpful, but this is one of those things where it's just like, it's better than nothing. I'll take the 3rd Corps here, and I'll move them up into the Nanjing area. Allies occupied. Funny that that's occupied. That means that's technically... yeah, that means that it's no longer loyal, which is why this is like this. That's why this border is here. That's an occupied Axis nation. Funny how they did that to China. But I'm going to send this corps around that way so it can be in like a better position. I want to get this HQ moving up to Hangzhou, where it will be able to provide better support, ideally. I'm not too concerned about these Navy units running around. I don't think they can do too much damage to me. Haikou and the presence of this unit is going to do the most damage to me out of anything. In terms of what I can spend the research in China on, I think I'll go ahead and put it into spying and intelligence to help their overall research effort, because once we finish pushing this load of Japanese out, we're going to have so much extra MPPs anyway. We'll be able to do all kinds of research and purchase all kinds of things. So, you know, taking Hanoi back and everything like that, even despite not having the Kunming Railway, just spawning us free MPPs is still going to be something that we have a great advantage in. Like, China's just going to be this amazing money spawner, but only for China, because they can't cooperate. But they can definitely keep this whole region safe. Maybe not from naval efforts, though, because all we can really spawn is a single light cruiser. We can hardly get an air force either. It's entirely land that these guys are good for. Hence my idea to have them do the landings eventually, for which I would need amphibious warfare to make that go faster. But it's going to be a bit until we dominate the Japanese Navy, so that's really thinking ahead of time, and I don't think it's worth paying attention to right now. We have done everything that we're going to do up here on the front. There's no more attacks to realistically do. I will go ahead, and I will end my turn, and we will see what the Axis has in store for us. Gotta make sure to zoom in. Blockading the port of Bordeaux. Yeah, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Communist China moving closer to the Allies. That's good. Not letting me zoom. Tech development. Cool. Cool. More tech. More tech. And we've collected 374 as the UK. Hell yeah. Well, we collect 220. But with the UK by itself, convoys. So the convoys are actually getting 154. That's a good amount. Could be the Hanoi. I'm so sad I fucked this up. But realistically, against a player, there's like no way I think that you'd be able to hold it. Against a competent player, there's no way China would be able to hold that railway. Alright, the Italians are moving and reinforcing over here by Greece and in Yugoslavia. The Germans themselves didn't start a very good advance. Those maritime bombers are running. That garrison just swapped out with a brand new army that's been moved from somewhere else, probably in Manchuria. We're going to see some good resistance up there, that's for sure. But we're going to have overwhelming numbers. There's nothing they can do to stop us. It's just a matter of time. We're winning, and unless they dedicate everything here, they're not winning. And they're not going to dedicate everything here, because they are going to do Pearl Harbor. They're going to declare war on America. They'll have to. Oh, the carriers have shown back up in the south. Smart. Haikou's probably a very important place for them. Like, that's... They defend this, and they have effectively nerfed China for a very long time. How much of the carrier fleet is here? Is their entire carrier fleet here? What was that? Alright, the Axis is bombing in Yugoslavia, trying to in Greece, but I have my British interceptors here, which did take 1 damage, but have damaged the enemy bombers a little bit, taken another 1 damage. Better than not having any interceptors here at all. This could definitely help in our defense. Although we are just completely overwhelmed in terms of air defenses. They're really going for that HQ with air. Defensive artillery, hey, they actually like took the bait. Interesting. Did they, wait, did that fire for a unit that wasn't even close by? That's interesting. Okay, here we have a German offensive. Italians moving in as well. Ooh, Zagreb. Okay, the Italians not really pulling off shit. The Germans are the scary ones. Oh, no. Niche is almost surrounded. Belgrade's under attack. Italians coming in from Romania. More Italian tanks are here attacking the weakened core. The Bulgarians are fighting too? Yeah. Okay, they're at war with the entire Axis. The Bulgarians are fighting over here as well. The more they commit over here, maybe for the better, because it may end up saving some lives over in the USSR. But wherever they commit, you know, so long as we can keep things alive and fighting, we can win and stop them from pulling anything off. This tank is suffering attrition losses. Just one loss for now. Attrition losses. Yeah, these guys got stuck here. Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome. Still blockading that. Malta hinders supply in the Mediterranean for the Axis. And that is their entire turn. Nice. Okay. Yeah, they are pushing in Yugoslavia and stuff, but there's not too much to worry about. Oh, amphibious transport spotted. Uh-oh. And we got 2 Chinese armies spawning. Just in time to probably save Hanoi, right? Where would this be going, right? This is either going to be heading towards the Philippines, or like that. This is it. This is proof. They are not dedicating everything over here. They are going after their targets. So this is either going to be going to like Malaya, or it's going to be going towards the Philippines or the DEI. They're going for it. They're going for the Pacific. Fuck what happens in China. They're going for the Pacific. That's going to hurt over here, but it's going to mean the Chinese are going to see more and more positive results. You'll love to see it. The USSR's gone from 37 to 41% mobilization. This next time I hit end turn, like I think we're 2 days away from Barbarossa, so they should definitely start Barbarossa, which should hopefully distract their units a lot. I think the Soviets are about as ready as they're gonna be, unless they decide to just focus down this, like they historically would before going in which case the USSR will get even better. But who knows what they'll actually do there. America, we're gonna go look at their research. They're still at 38%. It hasn't budged in ages. We're so far beyond the point of Lend-Lease, and it still hasn't activated. So let's go spend on more spying and intelligence. That would be nice, and that leaves us with 145, which is only enough to research anti-tank weapons. To be honest, I don't even know if we're going to use anti-tank weapons. It could be handy in Germany. That could be something pretty handy in Germany. How much anti-tank weapons can America even make? 3. I don't really know that that's worth the investment, to be honest. I don't think it's currently worth the investment, so we're going to go ahead with America. We're going to start upgrading some infantry instead with some infantry weapons. I think that would be pretty good. I'm still not feeling the need for the mobility, even though we're going to have a very small, like, crack force here as the Americans. The mobility could come in handy, but it would just chew all of our points up right now, and I don't think we need to put that much attention into that. The garrison doesn't really need it. It could get it. It's going to be dirt cheap to give this infantry weapons. Yeah, sure, why not? You never know. AI might get a little past what they should be doing, but that's going to be where we end this. I have a whole big turn to take on here. I have a lot of thinking on how to use the UK with what's happening everywhere, with the fact that I know the Japanese are incoming, and probably all of this is going to go to the British. And so the British are going to need to start pouring points into the Pacific very soon. The embargo should start soon. Barbarossa should start soon. The amphibious transports. I'm going to assume that these special forces are not meant to come over here. I'm just going to assume that. And I think that's a good assumption. Maybe not. But I'm going to assume that the Brits are going to need to actually start preparing. That's unfortunate, because that's going to weaken our war efforts everywhere else. But with Barbarossa, literally like one turn from historically starting now, do you think they're going to do it on time? Do you think they're going to wait and try to resolve all of this first? What do you think is going to happen if they try to attack here while not even finishing off Yugoslavia? There's so much interesting stuff happening here. And while with the UK, I definitely won't be able to really afford too much of a push in France if I'm focusing everything else that I have to here. We definitely have what looks like a really good situation coming up. Whether they do Barbarossa or not, USSR is going to gain mobilization. USSR is going to get stronger. Hell, even enter the war. But I believe they'll attack. I believe they'll attack. But that's it for today. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.